Hi there folks, Matt Gemmell here once again. I've recently made some substantial changes to my technology setup here at my desk in my home office, and that's what this video is about. Let's jump straight into it. So here's the new setup. Many things the same, but a few significant changes. Still the same desk with my Arturia 61 key MIDI controller keyboard there, still my Sony XM5s just there. Obviously still have my trusty Supernote devices, which I use all the time, every day, and I'm still using my ZSA Voyager split mechanical keyboard. Switched over to a mouse. This is the Logitech Anywhere 2S, which I had in the cupboard instead of the Magic Trackpad, just, you know, changing things, trying some other things. I have got this big monitor. It's a Dell S2722QC 27-inch 4K, and it's USB-C, which is fantastic. It powers the new computer, about which more in a moment, and of course takes its video signal from there. Just a single Thunderbolt cable, a USB-C cable to the hub, which is Thunderbolt, and a single cable to the computer. Some speakers there. These are Creative Pebble Pros with a separate power supply. These are fantastic. They actually got a really great sound. Much better than the Pebble V3. I would definitely get the Pro model. Get so much more bass, slightly less crystalline top end as well. Got my switch. I have acquired it's primarily for video editing in DaVinci Resolve Studio, and also as a sort of additional controller for Logic Pro. It's called the Loopdeck CT, CT standing for Creative Tool, and Loopdeck in the sort of optical loop sense, L-O-U-P-E. You can see it written along the top. This was a separate company recently acquired by Logitech, about which, of course, no one is particularly happy, but it's working great for me. Got these 6 ratcheted, continuous encoders, I think they call them. You've got the round buttons, square buttons. This is a touch screen, like swipe capable, and multiple buttons on it. It's also a dial. It's all made of metal. It reacts to what app you are in. These are, of course, all touch buttons. You can swipe across them for additional pages. You can have all these settings per app. You can customize each and every one of the buttons, all the functions, etc. They're all little screens, of course. These strips on either side list the functions that currently pertain to the knobs. You can have multiple pages of them vertically as well. You can also have multiple pages of functions on this dial. It is incredibly flexible and a lovely little thing, very narrow as well. This is just one of these phone holder, tablet holder things that I got on the cheap. It's not part of the device itself, but yeah, Loopdeck CT or Creative Tool. Not cheap, but a lot cheaper outside of Amazon, by the way, especially if you're in the UK. Try looking on Bax Music, BAX, instead of Amazon Co UK. Very hefty discount. So let's get to the computer. I have recently stopped being iPad only and switched over, once again, returned to the Mac. So sitting beneath my trusty Sony Alpha ZV-E10 Mark II with all the stuff, I've got a new MacBook Pro. As you can probably see, it's in space black and it's 16 inches. It's a big beast, and being new at the time of recording this video in February 2025, it's of course an M4. It is the silly specification of M4. It is the M4 Max with 16-core CPU, 40-core GPU, and 128 gigabytes of RAM. So yes, very much intended as a future-proofing machine, so I don't need to replace it for a good few years. And it ought to run everything I want to run rather well. That's another part of the reason for going for a mouse, because it does run games rather fantastically. I had it running Baldur's Gate 3 at the, not 4K, but the resolution that I've got set for this, which is the second highest one that macOS offers for this screen, at 60 Hz and everything on Ultra, and it was absolutely fine. Fans definitely kicked in, of course, but it had no trouble at all. So pretty fancy, silly machine. The rest of the stuff's the same at the moment. This is still a Thunderbolt 4 CalDigit Element hub. They have just announced and kind of released the Element 5, which has, I think, more power supply. It changes some of the ports to have additional Thunderbolt 5 instead of Thunderbolt 4, and a couple more USB-Cs instead of USB-As, which would be perfect. You can see I'm using a couple of C to A adapters for things there, I think both of these devices. So I'm looking forward to getting that. Can't get a hold of it yet, but there should be stock soon. So I'll be changing to that because, of course, this thing has got 3 Thunderbolt 5 ports. You know, why the hell not? Switch is still the same as the Switch OLEDs. Of course, they've announced the Switch 2. There should be more info online about it in a couple of months' time. Be looking forward to potentially getting that. This is the Wi-Fi gadget. This is the boxes for some of these recent acquisitions. Please excuse them. Cup of coffee. That is the setup as it is. Obviously still using my Aeron there, and the big light, etc, all the various gubbins down there for my video setup. Apologies for the background noise. It is extremely windy in Edinburgh today. You can probably see. Hopefully that'll settle down in a few hours, but this is the setup. It's certainly not going to struggle to keep up with my typing speed. All the jokes have been made regarding me being a writer with a ludicrous specification of machine. I feel vaguely embarrassed by it, but it has been loads of fun setting up all the various utilities and conveniences, and it's fabulous to have the full version of DaVinci, the studio version indeed, on that, which I shall probably edit this video in. And be kind about that, please, because I'm still learning the software coming from Final Cut Pro on the iPad Pro as well. But yes, that is a new setup for the moment, and struggling to think of anything else I need to get other than the Thunderbolt 5 version of that dock. But I'm quite sure something will occur to me, because such is the endless march of technology. Pretty nice for now. I feel extremely privileged to have it. So there you go. So there you have it. Pretty huge change for me. It's amazing how much I remember from the Mac, even though the last time I used it full time was over 8 years ago. All the keyboard shortcuts and ways of working just came straight back to me. It is nice having the flexibility, knowing that every peripheral will work, and that all the software that I might want to get for it will be available and compatible. It's also nice having the new toys to play with. Loopdeck in particular, I'm finding that I really enjoy the tactility of it. Maybe that's a sort of a preference that I have acquired whilst using the touch-focused interface in the iPad Pro for so long. But there you go. I think, or I hope, this will be a pretty stable setup for a while. I'm still getting used to some aspects of it, but very much enjoying it. And I guess I'd better get this into DaVinci and start putting it together for publishing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.